All right, how's it, everybody? It is 5 p.m. West Coast time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And hey, you know what? Guess what I've got? I've actually got a sign to prove that I am Mad Statter. And we will get to see similar signs to this later on today, thanks to K-Man, Kamuelaman, and a video or two that we will be watching of him going down to Laupahoehoe later on. Right now, though, I want to say hello to Rick, hello to Gina, hello to Kevin, hello to Darlene. And it looks like Elaine is coming in on the YouTube side of things. That's right, you guys, there's some changes. If you were here last night, you might have seen it. And if you're looking at me with your own two eyes right now, you might have noticed it. We have gotten rid of the chat screen that nobody could read. My screen has gotten bigger because I finally figured out how to do that. And we have coordinated all of the platforms' chats, both YouTube and Twitch, to come through on one feed. So no matter where you're at, you'll be able to see where the Twitch people are saying and what the YouTube people are saying. And everybody can see everything. Oh, it looks like Bacola T is in the house as well. Fantastic. Here we are. All right. So now that we've got a crowded house, why don't we get the party started? Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure. Did I say hello to Gina? I've got so many different chats going in so many different places. I might. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about how things are going here with my setup. But right now, this is day 2 of a little bit of a change in setup for text and stuff. Very much excited to have all of the chats coming in on all of the platforms. So now everyone can see what everyone is doing. Thomas the Turtle, I don't think I said hello to you, but now I am saying hi to you. Gina, okay, cool. I did say hello to you. Fantastic. All right, you guys. So I don't know if you hung out last night on the Statterbox at the cinema feed, but we didn't go to the cinema. Well, we sort of went to the cinema. Let's see, Bacola T, chat is in different places or friends in all the wrong places. A little bit of both, Bacola T, a little bit of both. But as I was saying, so last night, Hey Music, good to see you. We went on a trip over the island of Hawaii, the big island, Hawaii Island. And if you want to save yourself $729, you can actually watch that particular video. It is up on YouTube still. However, if you're coming in from Russia or Belarus, I guess it's been blocked in those areas. I don't know why. I got notification from YouTube today that there was something in that particular video that no can do in Belarus. But I don't know, even though we've got a lot of folks coming in from a lot of places, I don't think we've ever had a Belarusian. We're just going to call him a Belarusian. Someone from Belarus. So I guess we don't have to worry too much about that. And it looks like we have got, let's see here. It looks like Pussycat. I missed Pussycat. There we go, Pussycat. Good to see you coming in on YouTube. I'm so glad that we have finally figured out how to broadcast on both of these streams for a couple reasons. I've mentioned it before. I'm going to mention it again. First off, sometimes Twitch is too twitchy, and people like Mitchie Mama, they just don't get along with Twitch, or rather, Twitch just doesn't get along with Mitchie Mama. Mitchie Mama gets along with everybody, but Twitch just doesn't like her apartment building, apparently. And so, for folks who are having a twitchy Twitch, we can always have them go to YouTube. And for those who are like, my YouTube is just not cooperating, Twitch is always the option. So we hopefully will have a smooth stream on at least one of those platforms. And another reason why I'm super excited about getting onto YouTube again is you might have guessed this is a chat show. And having the chat saved along with the show is, to me, of utmost importance. And when we were just on Twitch, unfortunately, all of our chatter does not transfer over for safekeeping when I forward it over to YouTube that 24 hours later like I used to. Well, now I don't have to forward it to YouTube, and because it came through on YouTube, YouTube saves all of the chat from all of the platforms. So everything you say will be will be here for perpetuity, as it were. Perpetuity. Okay, so let's see. Who would ban me, says Darlene? I don't think it was me per se. I think it was something like, I'm going to say it was like maybe a piece of music or something that for whatever reason, okay, first off, there was a lot of music on that video that obviously I didn't have rights to, but I guess somebody in Belarus was really just like, oh no, this is my rights. You can't have my rights. Or I don't really know. It's not a copy strike against me. It doesn't really affect my standing with YouTube. It just means that in a couple places that we don't really gather viewers from, they will not be able to see that trip over Hawaii. And that is exactly right, Rick. This will go down on your permanent record. But don't get so distressed. Did I happen to mention that I'm impressed? Anyway, so yeah, they just don't know what they're missing. Exactly, they don't know what they're missing. But let's see here. All right, you guys, since we're already talking about it, why don't we just talk about it? Last night's stream, it was a flight over the island of Hawaii, and honestly, I didn't expect anybody to show up. I didn't expect anybody to even think about wanting to watch it. But they did, and people were pretty stoked. So if you are interested in maybe taking a helicopter ride over the island of Hawaii, you don't have to pay the $729 per person that this tour is running these days. First off, let me make it clear. This tour that I videoed, no, I didn't video it. This tour that I was on, that I have the video of, was back in 2009. So, a couple things have changed since then on the island, what with eruptions and things like that. But also, a couple things have changed with the pricing of this particular tour. I did not pay even half of what they're charging for it now. Like, when I went to the website just so I could get an idea of where the heliport was, but I looked at the prices just to see, holy flirkin' snit, you guys. I mean, it is time to fly where's my flying forks? Where's my flying forks? Because holy flirking snit, it is flying, forkin', flippin', flirpin' expensive. I can't find my flying forks, you guys. Can't find my flying forks. But that's the kind of thing. I mean, it was the kind of thing that required flying forks, you guys. What was $729? Here we go. Here's my flying forks. We're going to fly some forks here. There's my flying forks. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, everybody. Get those flying forks flying, because holy flippin' flying forkin' snit. $729. I'm going to save you $729 by you being able to go to my YouTube channel and watching that flight over the islands. And if you, let's see here, if you want to see awesome pictures, if you want to see what it was like in the helicopter, you'll get to see what it's like in the helicopter. And then, let's see here, what else do we got? If you want to see some amazing cinder cones, ancient cinder cones, overgrown with some greenery, but also almost invaded by lava. If you want to see the crater of Kilauea, that is what we're looking at right now. If you want to see where lava meets the ocean, that's what we're looking at right now. If you want to see the little pukas, the vent holes, we got those. The jungle getting cut off by lava flows. Yep, we got plenty of that too. And then, of course, the end of the trip, you've got the waterfalls and the most amazing, amazing views of the valleys up there. So that, of course, is the infamous Waipio Valley, and we get to drive past that, fly past that, excuse me, on that trip. This is the next valley up, Waimanu, which is not inhabited, which is why we were able to get over or get up that particular valley without bugging the folks. And basically what the trip of a lifetime that will save you $729 by just going and watching my YouTube channel. Basically the rough path of the flight is in red right here. Starts up on the upper left-hand side of the island and then goes across the saddle to the Volcanoes National Park, looped over the water a little bit, then turned back around up to Hilo and then over the water and up through some amazing, amazing valleys over Waimea, aka Kamuelaman, and then back to the heliport. So that is what we did last night. That is what we did on the tour. And that is the tour, roughly the area of the tour that you're going to be seeing. If you decide to take a Blue Hawaii tour on the Big Island now, only now, if you do that, you're going to pay $729 per person, or you can just click the button for free and watch what I did, which, by the way, let me remind you, not even half of what it costs now is what I paid for that. So let's see, as I was pimping out my stream, or excuse me, as I was pimping out the last night's cinema, which is still up because it's not really cinema and I don't have to worry about copyright strikes. It is on YouTube, so you can watch that. But as I was babbling, lots of people said some stuff. Let's catch up on it. And first things first, Rick pointing out that there was no background music. Well, now we've got some background music. So Lono is also in the house. And let's see here, Darlene. Yeah, our earlier trips and what they cost then compared to later trips, huge difference in price. And Pacola T, yeah, exactly. The $720 absolutely is round trip airfare from Hawaii to the West Coast and back. Absolutely. Certainly not the first class seats, but you could definitely get a round trip, easy. You could get a round trip flight from Seattle to Oahu and back for $729 for certain. All right, Terry in Scotland coming in. I think Terry in Scotland saw some of the video last night, if I remember correctly. And Darlene's like, yeah, no, we're not going to spend the $729. We'll just watch the video on YouTube instead. So yeah, let everybody know if you've got some friends who are thinking like, hey, I want to see what it's like on the Big Island. Maybe a helicopter tour might be neat. Well, you know, just have them check out the YouTube channel. It's still up there, and it will be up there, well, and it'll be up there until the Belarusians, until they tell me to take it down. That's it. And Darlene, yeah, not from the Midwest. That's very true. It's going to be, you spend a lot more money flying from the Midwest to Hawaii than the folks on the West Coast do. And actually, I would imagine that most people on the West Coast who don't know the trick, they probably pay more for a round trip ticket to Hawaii from Seattle as well. But here's the deal. People from Seattle, like Pacola T, even though she's not currently in Seattle, she has resided in the Pacific Northwest long enough to know. Alaska Airlines is a hub, and Alaska Airlines uses SeaTac as their hub airport. Alaska Airlines has a lot of direct flights from Seattle to Hawaii. And Alaska Airlines, in comparison to Hawaiian Air, is dirt cheap. Hawaiian Air is extraordinarily expensive, but a lot of people look at Hawaiian Air as, oh, well, that's just how we're going to go. And so if you, in the Seattle area, skip Hawaiian Air, go to Alaska Air, chances are you're going to find the bottom of the rung prices They're just, and Bacola Tea, exactly. Alaska Airlines is the bestest. It's the more better bestestest. It's the most bestesses. And Rick, and excuse me, Darlene, right, last trip was $1,200 each for you and Rick, and it wasn't first class. Not at all surprised, but you're coming from, you know, the middle of the country. Takes a lot more gas to fly from where you're flying than, you know, than from where the Seattle folk are coming from, as it were. But yeah, if you ever do, here's the hint. If you ever end up in Seattle for a little while, and then you're like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, fly to Hawaii. Honestly, Alaska is really the first airline that I would check. Now, obviously, different airlines have different sales and things at different times of the year. But seriously, the times that I have flown to Hawaii, and when I say the times that I've flown to Hawaii, I mean actually both Oahu and Maui. It has been via Alaska, and it has both times have been... No, wait, I'm lying. I don't think it was Maui. I think it was the Big Island that I flew Alaska on. Either way, Alaska has, in my experience, always been the cheapest flight to take. And Bacola Tea, world traveler that she is, coming in with some real knowledge, insider tip. No added charge, but more legroom for exit row seat on the Alaska Air. You're welcome. And let's see here, Darlene, true that, just save up more, worth it. That's why I've been to a couple of the islands more than once. Right, yeah, exactly. If you're gonna make the trip all the way over there, you might as well experience all of the everythings. And let's see here, what is it that Terry was asking? Are there any Chinese balloon trips from Scotland to Hawaii? I don't know, but I do know that traveling via balloon over United States or Canadian airspace has gotten particularly dangerous in the last month or so. So if you're going to take a Chinese balloon from Scotland to Hawaii, you might want to go the long route and avoid the Canadian and USA airspace. Yeah. And Darlene, and when we go, we try staying a month. Nice. Yeah, well, you know, I've noticed that a lot of Airbnb places at least on Oahu, they actually, I mean, even though they advertise as like, oh, it's $189 a night, they aren't allowed to rent it to you for less than 30 days. Like, you have to rent. If you're going to do some Airbnb properties, you have to rent them for the entire month. And that has to do with local ordinances preventing Airbnb properties. But the owners are then working around that logic. Because basically, there are communities on the islands, and perhaps this is a rule island-wide, for homeowners aren't allowed to rent their house out for less than 30 days. Because 30 days sort of implies that you're going to be a long-term tenant, because you're month-to-month rent, right? Well, that's not how they're using it. They're still renting their homes out for visitors. It's just now the visitors have to rent the house for a month, which is why sometimes the last 2 years, actually, when Miles, Medium 7-Up, for those who are familiar with him on that platform, he generally rents a house in, like, Haleiwa for an entire month. Even if he's not going to be at that house for the entire month, even if he's not going to be on the island, he still has to rent the house for the entire month, because that is the ordinance that is in that town. There's no such thing as temporary rentals. It is 30 days at a time. Now, I know that this year Miles was able to find a loophole with that, but you got to know somebody in order to get that loophole. So for the general public, lots of folks on the island of Oahu, at least, do have their homes for rent, but you got to read the fine print. Just because you're going to be there for 2 weeks doesn't mean anything. You still might have to rent that house for the entire month. And then let's see here. Darlene, yeah, you liked Miles' tip on Facebook. He posted, didn't know that you could rent at some hotels in Honolulu. Yeah, actually, when I went to Honolulu, I stayed at the Aqua Palms Hotel. But I did not pay the Aqua Palms Hotel rate because I rented the room that I rented was a privately owned room in the hotel that was then rented out by the host via Airbnb. Now, the benefit of doing that is mixed. The rate was absolutely cheaper than what I would have paid for the hotel. However, I didn't get any hotel services like, I didn't get any housekeeping services. I had to clean everything. I had to go and, find where the garbage was and bring my garbage out, etc., etc. I still had access to the swimming pool. I still had access to their parking facility. Now, granted, parking was extra, but even if you stayed at the hotel, parking was extra, so that was not really an added cost. But yeah, there are some hotels, and it looks like Ala Moana Hotel, where Miles is staying, is one of them, that do have rooms that they have sold off to private owners. And then what those private owners do with those rooms, I guess you could live there if you wanted, or what most of them seem to be doing is renting them out for a slightly lower market rate than what the hotel itself charges. So like I said, you can actually get, like Miles pointed out, you can actually get hotel rooms via Airbnb, which is counterintuitive, but there you go. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, a lawn chair with balloons, jug a bullet, Frontier, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing at all, Terry. Not one thing could go wrong with that plan at all. And let's see here. So Doe, my daughter-in-law is a flight attendant for Hawaiian Airlines. I can go for cheap price, but I don't like standby. Dude, I don't like standby either. I want the travel experience to be as short as possible. I don't want to hurry up and wait. I don't want to hang around and hope. And then, so you're hanging around and hoping, and then it doesn't happen, and then it does happen, and then it happens later than you thought it was going to happen. And then, when you get to your destination, what are you going to do about where you're going to stay? Because you didn't know when you were going to get there. You couldn't necessarily reserve anything for when you're going to be there. So, the whole idea of flying on standby kind of fills me with anxiety, And, hold on. What are you talking about with the chickens, E.T., Elaine? Now granted, the chickens are everywhere on almost all the islands, I think, at this point. I know that some folks don't think of the Big Island as having a chicken issue, but when I was on the Big Island, the chickens were everywhere. Chickens! Okay, so speaking of the Big Island, again, still in stuff, I thought that we could take a little trip down yet another valley, thanks to Kamuelaman. Kamuelaman, by the way, used to be a main feature on Andy Bumatai's Daily Pidgin Live. Provided all sorts of video footage that Andy used that was basically any video footage that came from the Big Island. Almost every piece of footage that came from the Big Island came from Kamuelaman. Perhaps every single one, but I think Andy might have made at least one video on his own. That's neither here nor there. Kamuelaman, aka K-Man, he is the man behind my Honu, and he is the man behind plenty Big Island videos. He is the man behind the video that we're going to see today. He's going to take us down to Laupahoehoe. But before we go to Laupahoehoe, you know, if you hung around here long enough, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a map. All right, so Map Statter has it again, and this is a map of Hawaii Island, aka the Big Island, and where that red arrow is, that is where Laupahoehoe is. And I apologize, it's actually Laupahoehoe. I've been saying it wrong. Sorry about that, guys. It'll come naturally eventually. But this is, of course, the map that I had to show you, and that's where we're going to be going. So, this little sign right here, you might see something similar, because K-Man made this sign, and K-Man made this video. So, let's see if I can find the video. Here we are. And then let's go down and do it.
Morning, gang.
And K-Man made
Today's
this
Cam
video. So,
brought to you
let's
in
see if I
living
can
color.
find the video.
Today
Here we
we're
are.
going to go here to Laupahoehoe. Laupahoehoe. All right, buckle up. We go.
All right, so that's one part of the video. There's another half of the video that's much shorter. So on this video, he went down one part of the beach. The next little bit is he's gonna park at the point, the pier, the boat launch, and we will see what the boat launch looks like, and then we're gonna come back and talk about this particular valley. So here's the next video. And by the way, Andre, thank you so much for doing the gift subs and putting out the explosion of emotes. Super sweet. Awesome. So let's watch the next part of the video, and then we'll get back to what went down on that valley. All right, so it's been buffering for me as well. It's buffering at the source. It's buffering at the source. It's not your guys' fault. It's my fault, and I don't know how to. I don't know. It just decided that maybe we were stealing a little bit too much from K-Man, and so YouTube decided, hey, slow your roll. We're gonna slow it down a little bit, or it just could be tech. I don't really know, but none of your systems were at fault. It was my fault. And Michi Mama, you wonder if those structures are to protect the ramp. I think it is. And last night, I found a picture, and I really wish that I'd grabbed it, but I forgot to. I found a picture of what those cement jacks looked like originally, and they originally were lined up very neatly with an order in. They were lined up very neatly at one point. So to see them now all jumbled together is very weird, because there's a picture that shows what they used to look like, how they were placed. Clearly the power of the ocean has completely decided how the jacks are gonna sit, and I can only assume that now that the jacks are like really intertwined with one another, that they will provide a lot better. They're intertwined, like you can see in this video that we just saw. I can only assume they're actually in a better position now for the stability, and perhaps they laid them out neatly with the idea of the ocean playing a good game of jacks, basically. So I know, I'm not sure. Obviously, I am not privy to the planning of that situation, but yes, Gina, exactly. The jacks right now in that video are all jacked up. Back in the day, they were laid out individually and quite neatly, actually. So I wonder if I can find that picture I wonder if we can do something and we can find that picture. Maybe while we have our Lono listening moment, I will go looking for that. But let's go back to what Michi Mama was talking about, what Andre was talking about, etc., etc. Back in 1946. Well, first off, let's talk about this. This is a picture of Laupahoehoe that was taken but prior to 1946. I believe, let me check my notes. I believe that the town, okay, maybe I won't check my notes. Oh, here we go. I think the town of Laupahoehoe was created at first in 1885, and it probably looked a little bit like this. And so this is an old picture of Laupahoehoe. Like Michi Mama mentioned, she did post these old pictures a few weeks ago, I think, on Facebook's. I went and stoled some, and this was one of them that I stoled. And so, this is what Laupahoehoe used to look like back in the day. But in 1946, unfortunately, there was a huge tsunami that basically wiped out, well, I don't know if it wiped out the entire lava lip of Laupahoehoe. By the way, Laupahoehoe actually means lava tip, and I don't know if everybody who was down there was perished, but I do know that everybody in the schoolhouse did end up forgive me, they did end up passing away. And now they have a memorial there for those who lost their lives in the tidal wave on April 1st, 1946. And so this is the plaque. This is the plaque that is down at Laupahoehoe right now, and in memoriam. And as it turns out, apparently, and I've just learned this thanks to Michi Mama, literally on this stream, I guess another tidal wave / tsunami hit Laupahoehoe, maybe in the last, well, I don't know exactly what date, but after the 1946 tsunami, another one came in, and apparently, according to Michi Mama, no one did die, so this is a good thing. But honestly, and I know this is a little bit crass, but what is with the tidal waves coming in on this one little area? I would think, statistically speaking, once a tsunami hit, like, the likelihood of another one happening would be a lot slimmer, but no, apparently not down in Laupahoehoe. And yeah, Hilo got hit by 2 tsunamis as well, probably the same 2 that Laupahoehoe got hit with. What with them being roughly on the same side of the coast. I guess just, obviously, like I said, it's a little crass there to make that, but seriously, you would think, statistically speaking, like, we've already had ours. You guys can go someplace else, right? No, apparently not. No. So there you go. Laupahoehoe, lava lip, good alliteration. That is exactly it. And so, so continuing on with our little theme of the, let's see here, what I'm trying to say. The theme of the Big Island. Okay, hold on. Let's see what we got here. Andre coming in with the facts. With its funnel-shaped bay facing the eastern edge of the Pacific Rim, Hilo is one of the most tsunami-prone locations on the Earth and is often referred to as the tsunami capital of the United States. The town was struck not only in 1946, but again in 1960, with waves reaching 30 feet high, and recently in 2010. And let's see here. E-music coming in. Yes, there have been a few tsunamis. I've talked to people who survived all those tsunamis. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. And so, Michi Mama, I think the quake was up in Alaska. Oh, well, quakes never happen in Alaska. So, the Hamakua coast would be vulnerable. Yeah, I mean, they're straight shot to the Aleutian Islands, basically, from that angle. So, yep, that'll That'll do it, all right. That'll do it. Now, when I was on the Big Island, I stayed on Kona side. I've never set foot, as it were. I've flown over, but I've never set foot in Hilo. Instead, I was on the Kona side, coffee plantation, stayed on the coffee plantation, and there's some pictures of little coffee growing on the coffee plantation. Now, the coffee plantation was built, obviously, on the side of a volcano, and on the plantation, there were lava tubes, lava tunnels, lava holes all over the place. This was one of them, and it's kind of creepy because like this looks like it's a cave, but it's not. Now there's another open air lava tube. You can see somebody's in the lava tube to give you a vague idea of just how deep it is. And then there's some bones. There's some bones that are all up in that lava tube. I'm not sure if the bones were placed there or if something just went there to die, but there you go. E-music, big tsunamis hitting Hilo, also hit and wiped out places on Kauai. Oh wow, that's on the other side of the island chain there. Well, you know, I guess the waves, if they're big enough to cause tsunamis, they're big enough to head all over the island chains, as it were. And Andre, you stayed on an avocado grove in a little coffee shack on Kona side when you were a kid. Got it. Now, this is also another set of pictures from the plantation, the coffee plantation I stayed on. Michi Mama, did I stay on an eco farm? I don't think so. Rick, bones would be a good indicator to stay out. Exactly, and I did not go in. But in regards to the coffee plantation I stayed at, it was owned by friends. It was not open to the public. I just happened to luck into knowing somebody who lived on the island and allowed me to stay with them. Now, this particular set of pictures on the island or on the plantation, one of a papaya tree, that's a macnut tree. So I took these pictures. One night as the sun was setting. It was near the end of my trip. Now, on that trip, I was hanging out with a couple local Native Hawaiians who had homestead land just up the road from the plantation that I stayed on. So hanging around with the locals over that week, I learned a couple things. And as I was up there on the side of the mountain at the plantation, looking over, you know, the beauty of the jungle and the sunset, I noticed hanging off of the biggest avocado tree I have ever seen in my life. I noticed these really big avocados just waiting to be taken into the kitchen. Well, okay. The avocado tree, super tall, the branches super long. There was absolutely no way that I could reach any of those juicy, just wonderful looking avocados. But I was determined, and I learned something from one of the locals that I was hanging out with that week on how to get the fruits that are high up in the tree down to the ground without climbing the tree. And what you do is basically you throw a rock at the branch. So I was like, you know what, I probably can do this. So I go and I pick up some lava rocks, and I go boop, and throw it. And much to my surprise, not only did I hit the branch, it shook the branch enough that boom, one of the avocados I was looking at fell to the ground. And I saw, it falls, and I heard it land, and I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna work. So boom, throw another rock. Another one, lands on the ground at the bottom of the tree. Boom, throw another rock, hits the branch. The third one that I wanted falls off the tree, lands to the ground. I hear it at the bottom of the hill. Now I'm on a hillside, and the base of the tree is at the bottom of the hillside. But I'm like up the hillside, and the tree keeps going up, right? So I take the path back down the hill, and I'm keeping my eye on that tree to make sure I can find the bottom of the tree so I can grab the avocados, right? So I get to the bottom of the tree, and I'm looking at the ground. I'm looking everywhere. I'm only looking at the ground. And 1, 2, 3, I see the avocados that I got from the top. So I go and I make a little, shirt basket and pick up the avocados. And so, no, actually they didn't get smashed or anything. They survived the fall, right? So I'm looking at the ground, picking them up. And so I got my shirt full of them, and I look up, and I'm at the base of the tree now, and I look up. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's another. Oh. Turns out there was plenty of avocados to go around for everybody. No rocks involved, but I had to go about it the most difficult way possible. And yeah, so at the bottom of the tree, filling my shirt basket up, stretching my neckline, grabbed all the avocados I could fit, and then brought them back to the kitchen where the guests, or where I was a guest at, and yeah, they were like, "Oh, we don't like the avocados from that tree." I don't know why they don't like the avocados from that tree, but they had another avocado tree that had a different variety of avocados. They preferred that, and to make it even worse, they had just harvested the tree from the tree that they actually liked. So we had a counter full of avocados, and like Andre said, there was a guy who only fed his dog avocados. Well, the avocados that they didn't like ended up going to a pig that they had caught. The local guy, the native guy, he'd caught a pig and he had it, and he was fattening it up with kitchen scraps. And so the pig got all of the avocados that they didn't like. But yeah, that I felt like I was absorbing the knowledge of the Aina. And I just felt like I was so smart for being able to get that avocado down from the tree. And I was so, honestly, half of what made me so excited about it was the fact that the rocks that I threw actually hit what I was throwing it at. To me, that was the most impressive thing. But yeah, as it turns out, I didn't need any secret Hawaiian harvesting avocado method. No, I just could have walked up to the tree and picked it. And Darlene, I'm assuming it was a bad variety, because the the ones that I picked were like sort of round and bowling ball shaped. Well, I guess actually any ball shaped, now that I think about it. But they were round. They were very round. Whereas the avocados from the tree that they liked were more of a traditional avocado shape. So I'm going out on a limb and saying they were different varieties. But I don't actually know, because honestly, I don't really like avocados that much. I do like guacamole though, and I thought that we were going to have guacamole. But no, we didn't have any guacamole. But I do think that the pig loved it. And I do think that, feeding the pig nothing but the avocados and the kitchen scraps is probably going to make for a very, very delicious, yummy pork, as it were. And Andre, you better believe it. Yeah, the Aina had a bit of a joke on me. Totally. And so, but at the same time, though, I'm still bragging. I'm still, 14 years later, I'm still bragging about how I was able to get those avocados off that darn tree, gall dung it. Off that tree, I did it the old school way. No tools involved, just lava rock shaking that branch. And exactly, Andre, I learned how to throw a rock. Some of the most advanced technology available to humankind, throwing rocks. That's right. That is exactly it. So that's where I stayed on the Big Island. Now, I've got one more picture for you that has no story behind it or nothing, but it is an obligatory picture of the most beautiful spot you probably have ever seen on the Hawaiian Islands. Okay, it's not the most beautiful spot because there's a million beautiful spots, but it is the obligatory scenic shot of beauty. Here we go. I mean, can you believe that, you guys? Those lava pools. Oh, those lava pools. I loved those lava pools, except there was so much Vana in them that it was, you always had to be on the lookout for those spiky black urchins. And so you don't want to touch those spiky black urchins, but these lava pools are worth the risk. And are those the warm ones? I don't know. The water is very shallow and it was quite warm. So I don't know for certain. And Michimama, is that Kona side? Yes, that is Kona side. And so I don't know exactly what beach it was, but I'm 95% sure it was north of Milioli'i. So I don't think on that day we went down to Milioli'i. But I don't quite remember. And yeah, exactly. Not so good to float in. Too many sea urchins. And actually, Darlene, what it is it's not that there's too many. It's just a case of choose your pool wisely. Be on the lookout. And once you realize, because they're black sea urchins, they're not hard to miss, you know? And so once you realize, okay, this one's clear, then you're good to go. But there were a couple pools that I was like, yeah, I'm going to, whoa, I am not going to jump in that. Or I suppose not jump in it because it's too shallow, but you know what I mean. And so let's see here. Pacola T went to an orange orchard on a recent trip. We went crazy picking all you can eat. Days later, when we had so many left over that we couldn't bring on the plane. Stupid. Exactly. That's how it was. With the avocado. It's like, you know, it's free food. I feel like I'm obliged to take it off the tree. But it's just like, well, did you really need to? Because you ain't going to eat that. There's not enough time. And the thermal pools in Kapoho don't have much Vana. Yeah, I wish I could say where I was. I didn't take good enough notes, but I'm thinking these were not, I don't think these were thermal pools. These weren't pools that were like super warm. It was just warm because it was so shallow and the rock is so black. You know, it wasn't like I didn't get the impression that there was any kind of thermal vent that was heating the pools, as it were. Darlene, yeah, we came across a pool and was gonna get in, but then you saw the urchins and decided not to. And E-Music coming in, that lava pool is actually an ancient fish pond built to catch small fish. Well, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. That being said, there was some Vana in there, and I'm a scared of the Vana. Now I know that the Vana can't come get me. I have to go to the Vana. I know that. I know. But I'm still scared of them. Exactly. It almost caught a mollyfish. You got it. That is exactly right. And so there we go. Now, okay, it's 6:00 and we still haven't done our usual. And so you know what our usual is. That's right. We're going to do our Lono listening moment. And oh no, Andre, you once stepped on that urchin? Not good. I hope that it wasn't nearly as painful as I hear it is painful to have that happen. No. No. So, yeah, exactly, Darlene. Did it hurt? We know it hurt, but how bad did it hurt? Yuck. All right, well, my pretend vacation is ruined just thinking of it. And okay, it wasn't that bad, just hit a little bit on the side rather than a full-on puncture. Whew, well, that's good. let's see here. The stuff left in those ponds is icky because the water doesn't flow through it when it was a true fish pond. Yeah, exactly, eMusic. However, the little pool that I was in, it was good clear water because the water was coming in and out. However, it clearly was not a fish pond in use. It had, broken bits that allowed the flow to come in. Whereas the true fish ponds that are, not true fish ponds, the fish ponds that are still built up properly or in use, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to get in that water. Actually, it seems like it would be it would be very good water for like fertilization and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have a Lono listening break, and the Lono listening break that we're going to be listening to is Kila Na Roughriders, and it is about the Paniolo that were on Hawaii Island, who in 1908 went to the Wyoming World's Rodeo Fair, and they ended up placing super, super high because you have to understand, cowboys in Hawaii have been around longer than cowboys in Texas. That's right. There were cowboys in Hawaii 30 years before there were cowboys in Texas. And so these particular Rough Riders made it back to Wyoming from Hawaii to show the mainland cowboys just how a rodeo rodeos. And let's see here. It looks like Ikuva Purdy, Archie Ka'awa, and Jack Lowe took first, second, and sixth. And overall, it was a great success for the Paniolo of Hawaii. As Lono is attempting to preserve Hawaii's history and introduce it to a new generation of Hawaii's youth, with the slow decay of time, this history will be forgotten. But LonoMusic is sworn to keep it alive for those who came before us. Each of his videos are a page of Hawaii's history in the LonoMusic timeline. So, go check out LonoMusic at LonoMusic.com, or check out LonoMusic's page on YouTube, which is Kaupe'epe'e. And if you don't even know who Lono is, well, where you been? Here. This is who Lono is. Listen up.
Kila na Roughriders. Kila na Roughrider, meka ua ki pupu, meka nani o pu kalani, meka hai o kalana kila, huie ha, hui koni ka puwai, huie ha, hui koni ka puwai. Kahi hui au i ka maka na Rough Rider kaulu e kahi ino i ka vai ani e mau i ka pu ke moni hui ha hui koni ka pu vai hui ha hui koni ka pu vai hano ale na cowboy e maku no hoi ka mio ale na pono o e kaula ili ka lai o ka pipia huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai. Huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai. Kaulana i koa me ka ua, na e uki pukaili. Ei e mai na pani o le muka, me ka nani o kuhome. Huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai. Huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai. Huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai. Huie ha, hui kone i ka puwai.
All right, there we go. Yeah, I think that that's just an 8-string ukulele because I don't think Lono plays just a simple 4-string. No, he's got to make everything complicated. Got to make everything complicated. And so he's got the 8-string ukulele. I, on one hand, have problems just figuring out how to fret one string, but whatever. And let's see here, Darlene. Oh, that's awesome, Darlene. I really like that the stream is on YouTube too. You get to watch on the big TV, the big screen TV, but you comment on the phone. That is so awesome. You've got yourself all doubled in and everything. And all right, we've got our little black cat coming in to say hello. She was earlier this evening hidden up in her secret box in my bathroom. I hadn't seen her all day, and I wondered, where is she? Right before the stream, I went and checked her secret squirrel spot, and that is exactly where she stayed. But now that Lono's out and about, I guess she's got to come and say hello, or something like that. That is right. So, all right, you guys, this particular stream, in case you hadn't noticed, is very much Hawaii Island oriented. And aside from my furry assistant here, and the tech talk, like smashing that like button on the YouTube side, we have basically been talking about the Big Island, Hawaii Island. Now, I've got one more little thing about Hawaii Island that I wanted to share with you. Granted, I don't know if this has been put out on the streets yet, but with all of the rain that is hitting Hawaii Island right now with the Kona low, they have had some serious flooding, and they have had to put all of their big trucks to work to clear the roads, etc., etc. And somebody came up with a whole new technology to help clean up the rain, and I think that Hawaii is going to probably start using it soon. That's right, it's a rain plow truck with a big sponge. I saw this and thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And so I'm pretty sure that Hawaii is going to be retrofitting some of their stuff to get a big old rain plow action going on. Okay, I'm kidding. That's not really true. That's just Photoshopped, you guys. That's just Photoshopped, but I got a little kick out of it, so I thought I'd share it with all you all tonight on the stream. And let's see here, Andre. Big Island is the only island with a snowplow. I'm not surprised that they have one, but I would think that Maui might have one too, no? Then again, maybe nobody needs to go up to Haleakala during the super snowy times. But yeah, obviously it makes sense that the Big Island would have a snowplow because lots of folks need to get up to the top of the mountains because there's like telescopes and laboratories up there. So, yeah, CE Music, I was like, I feel like Maui might have one too, but I know enough to know that I do not know. But what I do know is, with all the rain that's been going down, I think that the islands need to invest in the rain plow. I just do. I think they need to invest in a rain plow. Now, how does it squeeze out? That's a really good question. I'm guessing there must be, I'm guessing that maybe they take the little sponge and they put it over the dump truck, and then they have rollers that empty the water into the dump truck, because this doesn't really exist, and so I don't know, let's just make it up. And E-Music, there is a telescope on Maui too. Oh, well then yeah, that would make sense that there would be a snowplow to get them access to the situation. And Darlene, maybe a good idea. Maui has a couple with flooding and removal from some mud. Yeah, that sponge. Now that sponge is gonna get all dirty and gonna get stained with all the red dirt pretty soon. But let's see here. Oh, there you go, eMusic. To squeeze it out, they invite a kindergarten class to jump on it. There you go. I like that idea. And I'll bet you the kindergartners would too. And so Andre coming in with Hawaii News Now. Huge white sheets of snow being blasted off roadways by a giant snowblower is a scene you'd expect to see in states where snowplow operators work. Not in Hawaii, but it's one of the jobs Tracy Miyashiro does on the highest mountain in the 50th state. Well, that's true, but that doesn't say that that's the only one, though. You know, they're just highlighting this one person who has this one job. Doesn't say that it's the only one. So there might still be. I'm holding on for Maui having one, you guys. I just think that it's only fair. It's only fair. And yeah, so now we're just being silly. Let's see here. I don't think. Hold on. Let me check one more thing. Oh, I do have one more thing I wanted to share with you guys. Because you see, I am new to this meme. Oh, okay, and Andre, in another story, they did say it was the only one. Got it, okay. Now, apparently, what I just discovered in the last week has actually been around. Hey, Ashes, they're saying hi to you. They're saying hi. Has actually been around for 10 years. 10 years. I'm new to it. It's new to me. It's a new meme. It's a new thing. It's new. And it's new to me because James Monet made a little reel or a YouTube short video. I'm not really sure which one. No, it was a Facebook reel, I think. A short video on Facebook introduced me to this concept, and then boom, shortly after James Monet made a video about it, one of the other content creators that I watch on YouTube made an identical, or not identical, but similarly themed short video. Are you guys familiar with Dumb Ways to Die? Apparently Dumb Ways to Die is like a children's book or a children's song or something, and it's been around for like 10 years, okay? I had no idea, but I thought it was hysterical. When I was introduced to it, thanks to James Monet, I thought it was hysterical. And then the next one that I saw, I also thought was hysterical. So, I would like to share with you a couple dumb ways to die, shall we say. So you probably have seen this if you've been following James Monet since he's started coming on to the Daily Pidgin Live. You've probably already seen this, but if you haven't seen it, well, let's just watch a couple dumb ways to die in a Samoan household.
Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die.
Things you never do in a Samoan house.
Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old unrefrigerated pie. Dumb ways to die. Eat a 2-week-old.
Okay, so I know we watched that twice, but I had to adjust it because the volume wasn't turned on for the first part. So that's the first one, Dumb Ways to Die. And then this second one is just a quick interaction between an American woman and her Italian husband. And by the way, this video, it's a joke. They don't actually, if you're familiar with these content creators called the Pasinis, you know that this is not something that her husband would normally say. This video is actually a joke, but it's still funny. So, we're going to then watch this next one, and we're probably going to watch it twice because I think I'm guessing that the volume is going to be a problem as well. But here we go.
Do you think this dress makes my butt look big?
I want it. That look huge.
Long ways to drive.
Do you think this dress makes my butt look big?
I want it. That look huge.
Long ways to drive.
Do you think this dress makes my butt look big?
I want it. That look huge.
Long ways to drive.
Do you think this dress makes
All right, so that one much quicker, but I think every husband knows that is the dumbest way to die. And so it made me giggle when I saw that one as well. And so I just figured I would throw that one in the mix. And let's see here. All right, there we go. So let's see here. Andre, you're saying you have so many Samoans in the area you work. We work next to the Samoan Community Children's Center. Yeah, well, you know, maybe you should talk to James Mane about that and have him get hooked up with some kind of comedy promoter in that area, because my best guess is you know, he'd probably be able to sell out in your community. I know that he would be able to sell out in my community as well. I've got 2 different Samoan churches within less than a mile from me. Now, one of them isn't technically a Samoan church. It's just a regular Methodist church. But if you see the congregation that leaves that church every Sunday, you realize, oh yeah, that's a Samoan church. But then the other church is actually a bona fide Samoan church. I can't remember what exactly it is that it's called, but it's a bona fide Samoan church. And let's see here. Andre, this is such a cultural thing. If a black man says, does this make my... I'm assuming you mean black woman says, does this make my butt look big? You say yes, and beautiful. Gotcha. Yeah, there you go. So that was what I had for you guys in store today. It was our Big Island theme. We started off last Wednesday with a little bit of a Big Island theme. Had the Big Island Drive flyover yesterday, and today we are wrapping up our Hawaii Island extravaganza. And now I don't know exactly what we're going to be watching on Statterbox at the cinema next Saturday, but we will be watching a bona fide, legitimate movie, which means, which means I'm only probably going to be streaming on Twitch for the movie night. Michi Mama, I'm so sorry about that. But here's the deal. I don't know how to... I have figured out how to get around the Twitch copyright people in my own way on Twitch. I know how to do it without getting copyright issued. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that with YouTube, and I just don't want to risk it. And so, unfortunately, most of the Statterbox at the cinema nights are going to just be Twitch streams. The exceptions to those rules will be when we're doing weird Statterbox at the cinema stuff, like when we've got a PBS show that we're going to be a PBS documentary, which I've got a couple of them lined up, but since we just did the flyover this week, I want to go back to like a movie. And so this week I will be hitting up the thrift stores to see if I can come up with something fresh and new. And if I can't come up with something fresh and new, then I've got a couple DVDs in my stash that we still haven't seen yet, like The Mummy Returns that Darlene and Rick has donated to the cinema. And so who knows what we'll be seeing on Saturday. I will probably have a better idea on Wednesday, and we can talk about that on Chatter with Scat. Yeah, we'll talk about it there. Wherever the heck that may be, we're going to talk about it there. Chatter with Statter on Wednesday is when we're going to talk about it. And as you guys probably know, Wednesday is a different kind of day. We're going to be hitting every stream up on the YouTubes and on the Twitches. We're going to be hitting that up at 3 p.m. West Coast time. 3 p.m. West Coast time. So that'd be 1 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. Central time. And I'm sure you know why we're doing this, but on the off chance that you don't know, on the off chance that you don't know, the reason why we're doing this is because at 5 p.m. West Coast time on Wednesdays, Andy Bumatai and James Mane are doing the Daily Pidgin Live. And I don't know if you were here for the past week watching the Daily Pidgin Live evolve into the show that will eventually be on television. But oh my gosh, you guys. That first show last Monday was a little bit rocky. There was some tech issues. Every day since then, the show has gotten exponentially better. And by last Friday, every show has been super fun. I can't even believe how amazing Andy has shaped that chaotic idea that's happening. He's got so much to keep track of with the internet side and the television side of the show that is being produced. I don't understand how he can do it, but he is managing to juggle 87 balls at once and making it look easy. And so Pacola T, you agree, the dual hosted show is really fun. Exactly. And let's see here. Mitchie Mama, your nephew and his wife did the helicopter tour. You just texted them the price that I quoted. They live in Florida. Very curious to know if they dropped their jaw when they saw the price that I quoted. Yeah, I hope that they didn't pay that price. And Darlene, yeah, anybody who watched the shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this last week saw an evolution. James, I swear, I don't know anybody else who could do what James is doing with Andy, because Andy's bringing it and bringing the chaos, and James is just like the keel of the boat, keeping it slow and steady, keeping it on course, he's the wrangler. The energy dichotomy between those two hosts is exactly what that show needs. It is just I am so happy with how it's evolved. Mitchie Mama, is Andy going to change the name of the show? Augie's name needs to go. I don't know. However, I did email Andy last week a screenshot of where Augie's name is showing up. And so I told him wherever is populating these things, that needs to change. But I can understand why Andy is just like, where are you guys seeing this? Because there are multiple sets of software. Like, just for what I'm doing here, I'm using Twitch, YouTube, OBS Studio, Restream, and Stream Elements. So I've got 5 different layers of accounts and technology just putting on this tiny stream. Andy has like Ecamm, and Andy's got way more softwares and layers than I've got. And so for him to be able to just be like, okay, that's what I need to fix, right? Where do I fix that from? Like, is that something that Restream is populating? Is that something that YouTube is populating? Is that something that Ecamm is populating? Is that something that... and so I can totally see why Andy's just like, I don't know how to fix that. But hopefully he will get that nailed down. It is a tiny priority, frankly, in the larger scheme of things. But it is an important priority because Augie is not on the show, and James Mane, well, he's the Mane. You got to give him some flipping credit, right? Right. And Pacola T, they're kind of like Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. Exactly. The dual host is awesome, but quite honestly, I don't know how Andy could even think of doing it as a solo. And so let's see here. Right, Kevin, in some of his show descriptions, it needs updating as well as the times. Right, exactly. Yeah, the times too. So hopefully, even though, as Rick just said, Andy has way more buttons. That's right, Andy has way more buttons. Hopefully, he'll eventually get some bandwidth to focus on the details. Because right now it is a huge tsunami of tech that he is dealing with. And I mean, I'm biased, but I think he's dealing with it pretty good. I mean, he makes it look so simple that people as dumb as me when it comes to tech think that they can do it. Whatever. And so, exactly, Darlene, Andy is so techie. I don't know how he does it. He does like it. At least you think he likes it, or else he wouldn't be doing it. Exactly. Exactly. And the details do matter to him. So absolutely, I do think he will eventually take the time to figure out how to finesse those details that need to be corrected. But I don't blame him for not focusing on that at the moment, because he's, well, like Rick just said, he's got a lot of buttons. Daughter 2, good to see you. And Andre, thank you for giving that gift subscription to Daughter 2. Super stoked that you're able to be here, Daughter 2. And obviously you're on the Twitch side, but we do, we are able to stream, in case you didn't know, we are streaming right now also from the YouTube side. So if your Twitch stream is twitchy, you can always catch this on YouTube. And let's see here. Rick, we need to find a way to see... Rick, I hadn't even thought of that. Rick says we need to find a way to see one of the Daily Pidgin TV broadcasts. That's right, because it'll be a completely different experience than what because we're getting the behind the scenes. We're like the live studio audience, right? Before the show gets edited together. I hadn't even thought of that. I hadn't even thought about that. Okay, right, Andre, who lives in Las Vegas? Love Pat lives in Las Vegas. Love Pat lives in Las Vegas. And then, oh right, lots of people live in Hawaii. And so maybe Pacola T can, like, I don't know, get a VHS copy of it or something. Or maybe we can ask Andy to stream one of them or something. Gosh, well, here's the deal, you guys. Daily Pidgin Live is happening 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and tomorrow's Monday, which means we're going to get to hang out with Andy and James. And I do think that we will be able to maybe ask him this question, because I certainly don't know how we're going to see it. And so Andre, does the TV got a webcast? It's a cable station, so I don't know. It's literally like, it's kind of like, it's like, I mean, it's not like local broadcast TV, but it kind of almost is. It's a very local cable channel. So I don't know if they have a webcast or not, but Pacola T does have a DVR, no longer have VHS. I wonder, Pacola T, if you DVR'd it, if you could send me a copy somehow, and then I would show it. And Darlene, you bring up a good point. You've seen some news reports on YouTube, but I don't think that will be visible there. Right, Andre, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, like old school public access cable. That's what I was trying to say. But Darlene, maybe they might not stream live, but I wonder if they do have a YouTube channel. If that cable channel has a YouTube channel, maybe they'll show it on the YouTubes. We will have to double check. The channel is KKAI 50, I think. So it's KKai, Kai like the C, and then K like the call letters. So KKAI, and I think it's channel 50, but I'm not sure if that matters for YouTube. But yeah, here we go. Rick, KKKI, excuse me, not KKKI, no, not 3 Ks, just 2, KKAI channel 50. And yeah, so, okay, you guys, our homework for tonight is to see if we can track down some kind of web source for KKAI channel 50. And tomorrow, if we can't do our homework, or if the dog eats it, tomorrow we will ask Andy if there's any way, that we could see a copy of it somehow. And yes, eMusic. eMusic did our homework for us, and so now we can just copy off of eMusic. Apparently, they do have a YouTube channel, and so hopefully we will be able to see what they have to offer via in regards to the Daily Pidgin on their YouTube channel. And I did not realize this. KKAI is a religious independent television station licensed to Kailua, Hawaii, United States, serving the Hawaiian Islands. Former numbers, analog 50, UHF transmitter, blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, exactly, just 1 premiere screenings for the Chatter crew. That's what I'm thinking, or for the Daily Pidgin crew, actually, whoever he wants to do it for. Andre, so, okay, it started out as a religious, it's classified as a religious channel, okay, but that is not the only place that they show. They also show in Las Vegas. So they've expanded their religious mission, but it sounds like I'm thinking that they might be broadening their subject matter, because it sounds like Augie's got a show on KKAI as well, sort of the backstage, it's when he's at the radio station. They're making a show out of Augie at the radio station, right? And that's definitely not religious. And then they're doing, Andy's show, which is definitely not religious. So I'm guessing they are trying to expand their broadcasting catalog to include some secular stuff, as it were. And so, okay, cool. Andre just threw down into the chat kkai50.com. So they have a website. Now, whether or not they stream from that website, we do not know. But according to eMusic, there is the YouTube channel. So perhaps, fingers crossed, hopefully, they will be showing the show there. All right, so we are 3 minutes past the bottom of the hour because I can't stop talking about things and stuff. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for the biddies that you donate, the subscriptions that you subscription to, the subscriptions that you gift to, and most of all, thanks for hanging out and chatting, because we cannot have a chat show without the Chatterbox crew. Chatterbox crew, the Chatterbox crew. So, let's see here. Pecola Tea, KKAI, broadcast shows on fishing, beer, soccer, wine, food, local stuffs. Awesome, so they're not just a religious channel anymore. Sounds like they got the start as a religious channel, but they aren't anymore. Good to know, because, well, if I'm going to be corresponding, like Andy implied, on some of the Daily Pidgin shows, I'm not so sure that if it was a religious station, I might explode with just my presence. I might make it just fizzle from within on accident, because sometimes Christianity and religion and me, I do that. Statues, they fall off the wall. When I accidentally took communion once when I was a kid, my mom she was just like, didn't the cathedral collapse? But no, that's just kidding, y'all. All right, so thank you guys for hanging out so much. Good to see you, Elaine. Good to see you, Michi Mama, on the YouTube side. eMusic also on the YouTube side. And Kevin coming in on Twitch saying Byron Allen bought KKAI. So Byron Allen, I don't know who that is, but that name sounds really familiar. I feel like he was an actor, but I could be lying. Anyway, it sounds like he might have decided to take the channel to a little bit of a different direction, and so I want to thank Picola T. I want to thank Rick. I want to thank Darlene, Kevin, Terry in Scotland, also coming in on the YouTube side. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here, you guys. We will see each other most likely tomorrow at Andy's show, but if we don't see each other on Monday or Tuesday, we will see each other on Wednesday. Chatter with Statter. Let's see here. Kevin, Byron, or that guy, he was a comedian. Mitchie Mama, he was a talk show host. Got it. That's why I was probably thinking the name sounded familiar. All right, you guys. Couple days till Wednesday. We'll see you then. And if we don't see you then, we'll see you sooner on Monday. Take care. Have a good one. Enjoy the rest of enjoy the start of your week.